And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Scene. This is a space for entrepreneurs who are building something meaningful and want to do it in a way that supports both their business and their life. On this show, we share real entrepreneur stories, the journey behind the business, what worked, what didn't, and the lessons only learned by actually doing the work. My goal is to inspire, motivate, and give practical insights you can use to build a business that feels more stable, more aligned, and more sustainable. Because here's the truth, many of you have already started your business, but clients aren't consistent yet. And that makes income feel more fragile than you expected. And I know that you're good at what you do, and you know you're good at what you do. You've been competent and respected for years, but now you're expected to talk about your work, be visible, and sell, often without a framework or real feedback. And that can feel awkward and overexposed and heavier than it should. So I want to be here to support you, to bring on people that can help you. And that's where my work comes in. I help independent solopreneurs and service based business owners build consistent clients with more stable income, and by clarifying how they position themselves, knowing what they say is connecting with the right people and how they show up without becoming salesy or pretending to be someone they're not. And the reason I bring that up is because this fits right in with my guest that's coming up. Today, I'm going to bring on a great person, Steve Ramona. Steve Ramona. Steve is known as a powerful super connector, and he has helped create more than $100 million in partner deals and over 1 billion in project impact simply by bringing the right people together. He has a top 20 podcast called Doing Business with a Servant's Heart, with more than 900 episodes and a global audience of entrepreneurs and leaders who believe that business can grow through service, collaboration, and meaningful relationships. Steve also has a show called Together We Serve on 360 TV, where millions of viewers hear stories from purpose driven leaders who are making a real impact. Steve is passionate about helping people build authentic connections, serve before they sell, and create opportunities that are transformational rather than transactional. Steve, come on up. Welcome to the show.
What a fantastic monologue. I am fired up. I can meet with you again. This is so great.
Awesome. I am so excited to have you here. I love what you stand for. I love being in your world ever since we connected. And I'm so happy that you said you'd come onto the show and share with everybody. So I always like starting from the beginning. Can you take us back, Steve, and tell us your entrepreneurial journey?
I got to tell you, being an old guy, I'm happy I am, because everything I learned for the last 40 years in business, I can share and impact others. And I actually started 18 years old and just graduated from high school, barely, but I graduated. I was a big athlete, so school wasn't a big thing to me, but I did graduate. I was going to community college or junior college, some people will call it, to play football. But in the summertime, I wasn't doing anything, and my family had launched a health club. And my cousin Jeff, shout out to Jeff Ramona, he just been a mentor of mine for many years, said, why don't you come work the front desk and make a little bit of money summer? Well, I'm a kid. I want to go out. Yeah, I'll work 20, 30 hours. But what happened was so magical. 18 years old, I'm checking in 40, 50, 60-year-olds. And a lot of these guys and women are very successful. I grew up in Silicon Valley, so a lot of tech was starting to build up in 80, right before the internet. But a lot of that was pretty popular. And your conversations and relationships started with, hey, Kim, have a great workout. Hey, Kim, have a great day, to, hey, Tony, how was your kid's birthday? Hey, Tony, how was the Bali trip? Hey, Tony, don't forget, you got to be back on Tuesday. It became these friendship relationships. And I didn't realize it. It just naturally, organically happened. And I got a great story that really launched my entrepreneurial career. Besides my dad, Ralph Ramona, and my cousin Jeff were my mentors. Tony, this little Italian guy, would call me kid. He's about 50 years old. He's much older than me, but we got this great relationship. And he came in one day, and Kim, he threw a book at me. Literally, I had to catch it. He says, what is it? It was called The Wealthy Barber, and you can still get it on Amazon. You've heard
That's
of
a
it.
great
Yes.
book. That's
It's
a
a
great book.
fantastic, and I got blessed. And this is where I'm a faith guy. God really blessed me. I realize it now. He said, I'll be back Tuesday. You better read that book. I'm going to quiz you on it.
Yeah.
No problem. I think it's a 60-page book, real short. Thank God for an 8-year-old. I don't know if I could read it.
Well, yeah, I read it when I was young too, and I read it because it was short.
Yes, so you understand, and you older people listening, same thing. You understand that. And he came in Tuesday and asked the question. I said, Tony, what you tell me through the book? Take 10% of my income and put it away. Now let's put perspective here. This is 1980. I'm making $3 an hour. It's 10 times, almost 10 times the minimum wage, which is fine because it's all relative.
Yeah.
But I went, okay, Tony, I'm going to do that. So every week I get my check, I take 10%, put it away. Over the years, I looked at it and, no, Tony was always on my shoulder. Don't touch it. Well, Kib, the most magical thing happened. 28 years old, 10 years later, I look at the account, dive deep into it. Something spurred to do that. And there was $68,000 in that account.
Wow.
From starting at $3 an hour. Of course, my pay grew and it grew, but it compounded, as we all know in finances. So what I did is I called Tony. I was still friends.
A good compound.
Me too. We're tied together there. And Tony answers. I said, Tony, here's what happened with the story. He goes, fantastic. I said, let me send you $1,000 because you were my client. I was your client.
Yeah.
No, Steve, you were my servant. What do you mean by that? I'm 28 thinking, what are you talking about? He goes, I offered you some advice. A lot of people don't take that advice. I probably gave the book to hundreds of people. Very few people read it and actually took action. When you took action and did what I told you, universe or my faith God came and rewarded me with somebody in my client base or something happened. I can't pinpoint it, but that's what it's called to serve people. You don't always have to take money.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God, Tony, thank you. And I hung up the phone. Boom, light bulbs. Just keep serving people and good things will happen. And maybe even big things like it happened to Tony.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that story. And I can really relate to it. Getting that, getting a gift from somebody without any expectations, that hits hard, and you remember things like that. And thank goodness he did that for you, because now look, you're helping so many people. So tell me this, you talk a lot about networking the right way. And what do most entrepreneurs get wrong about networking when they're trying to grow their business?
Pitch slap. Quit pitch slapping. And what that means, if you don't never heard that, most people have, you start selling people right away. I just had it happen this morning. A guy sent me a message on LinkedIn and said, hey, I saw your podcast. It looks great, but you're doing these things wrong. I can help you. Why don't you hire me? I'm paraphrasing, but he was pitching me.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know you. I don't know. And why would you tell me I'm doing something wrong? Is that a great way to start a relationship?
Yeah.
I didn't walk up to my wife when I first dated her and go, this is going to be a crappy date. You're going to not look good. I'm not sure if I'm going to date you further, but let's jump on a date.
Yeah.
The business is the same way. We're dating, we're doing a date here. We're a podcast date. I want to be the best I can be for you. You're being an incredible host. Just quit pitching. Be transformational, not transactional. Yeah. Now let's dive a little deeper into that. How can you be transformational? So I've got a principle. It's called the ASLA principle. And one of my guests in my podcast, Jeff, I love him, the Jeff Lackey, he came up with it. He goes, that's what you do. It's ask, shut up, listen, and ask. And I love the shut up because he added that. He's like, it really impacts people. Like, well, I shut up. Aren't I listening? I know I'm listening. And I tell people the best image I came up with about a year ago was we jump on a Zoom for our business, for our net, whatever it may be, and there's multiple windows. And some of those windows, the video's gone. We don't know where they went. Maybe they had to answer the door to get a drink of water. There's no judgment here. But audience, think deep down. Is that person really listening to the person talking? Probably not, because they're gone from their computer.
Right.
That's what I mean, shut up and listen. I'm not saying you have to be in front of your computer all the time, but that gives you the image, because a lot of times people will come back and go, hey, what did you just say? I missed that.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean when you do the ask the principle. You ask a question. A great question would be, what's your challenges in your business right now? Well, it's I need more leads. I lost a bunch of clients and this, and this. And if I came back and said, well, you know what? Let me get you the best AI tool to do your podcast.
Yeah.
They're going to go, it's not even what I said to the answer to your question. It
You're
just
not listening.
Right. So you shut up and you listen, active listen. We could put that in there.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people will stop there and they'll go listen and go, oh, you have a challenge? Well, you know what? Hire me. I'm a coach. I can get you more leads. It's $10,000 a month. No. Ask another question. Dive deeper into them. Get to know them genuinely.
I was just going to say, have genuine interest.
Amen. See, you get it. Amen. That's if you just did the principle with every person you meet, I guarantee you 99.9% of the time, your business will grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just revenue, might be your network, might be a tip you got from somebody. Remember, those are valuable. That's transformational. I give tips all the time on YouTube, how to grow your YouTube channel. I had 1,000 subscribers a week. People are like, oh my God, how do you do it? Here, I don't charge. Here, learn that. I'm transforming these people.
Well, I remember the first time we met, you gave me so much great information. We were just talking, and it was like a great conversation. I knew right away that I had to bring you on and share you with the community. But like, you talk about serving before selling, and I want to make sure that people get this. How can we explain what it actually looks like in practice when someone is building their network today? The sheer importance of this, and you've mentioned a couple of examples, but I know that this is your thing, and you've done so well with this, and I know you've helped other people do it. I'd love to dig in a little bit more.
Let's do it. This is one of my favorite parts. What a great host you are. I'm so excited because this is good stuff for people. Anybody can do it. You don't need to be super smart. You don't need to be a fast reader. You don't have to know AI completely. Anybody can do this. And I'll give you a story. 2020, I was a part owner of a digital business card company. At the time, we were real popular right before COVID because people were doing a lot of networking. You know, the LinkedIn, or I forget the name of the different links you could put. We have all your information on there.
Oh, yeah, like a Linktree.
Linktree. Yeah, that's the one. It wasn't Linktree. It's a different company.
Yeah.
So I had gone through for December talking to all my network, and they all knew about it. Someone gave me referrals. I had some sales because just sharing it with them. Here's what I got. I think it could help you. Well, I woke up Monday and I went, how can I do better? How can I serve more?
Yeah.
So I found a group that was meeting 10 times a week, a networking group.
10 times?
15 times a week, excuse me. I went to 15 hours a week to networking because I needed to meet new people, Kim, because my network, as people tell me all the time, well, my network's dried out. I've taught there, but well, I give tips for that too. But I started going to these meetings.
That too.
Yeah, I'll give you a great tip. And after about 8 weeks, I met 500 new people. Now, I didn't meet 500 people in the networking groups. I probably met 100, 200, but I keep getting referrals from them. Oh, you got to meet Steve. What a great, oh my God, he helped me with this. He helped me with this. You got to meet Steve. I became the top 6 guy in the company in 8 weeks.
Wow.
And they're like, my 200 are like, what the heck are you doing? Well, I'm just meeting more people.
Oh my
And here's
gosh.
what I teach. Yeah, here's what I teach. Meet 10 new people every week.
And when you say meet them, it's not just like a how do you do?
Well, it's you're going to meet them. Great. Nobody's ever asked me this question. 300 shows. This is a great question. You're going to meet to discover them. I like a discovery call, get to know call, whatever it may be. You're just going to jump on and try to go first. I always try to do because I want to ask that question.
Yeah.
What is your story, Kim? And I think I did it with you as well. I want to learn about you. And if they go, well, I said, I'd love to learn about you. I've got a large network. I want to help you.
Yeah.
But I need to know more about you. Let's talk about it. And that's what you start doing, because once you start learning about their challenges, their needs, you can start giving resources, tips, introductions. Now, people come to me and go, I don't have a big network. Well, then what did you learn last week at someplace you went? What do you
Yes.
know that could help them? And I'm going to do a good example of what you can do to really transform people. And it's anybody can do it. Behind you, Kim, that picture has been catching my eye. Behind your left shoulder is beautiful. It just calmed me when I came in. And it really did. I'm being authentic.
Thank
That's a way to edify, so people, right away, your face was like, you smiled. That's pretty nice. Edify people. Find ways
you.
to
Yeah.
give them victories. Let's be winning, be on the winning team.
Yeah.
And I do that at church. I do that at the grocery store. And I'll stop here in a second. But here's another great tip. If you want to be better at this, and especially if you're an introvert, you're the best at networking. And they're looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, because you can ask a question and shut up because you're an introvert. It was tough for me.
You listen, and you like that role.
Oh my God. Names are your biggest ally. I went to a restaurant last night, beautiful Italian restaurant. I'm a gluten-free guy now, and it was gluten-free.
Yeah.
And the manager, what is your name? Oh, it's Emmanuel. Well, Emmanuel, this is great, man. You're right. The bread, you nailed it. This is really good. That guy floated away from the table. And my wife and our couple friends, they were like, they just started smiling. Ask people their names or look at their name tags the next time you go to a grocery store, any store with name tags. And if somebody's missing one, you go, excuse me, what's your name? Oh, it's Jim. Jim, thank you so much for bagging those groceries.
Yeah.
It changes the culture of that moment so quickly.
And you know what? It's just those small appreciations that mean so much. And it's not even fake. Like it is. It's thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. I didn't have to do it myself. I wasn't struggling, thank you. Thank you. If somebody is bringing you food and working hard, like, thank you. You really mean it, right?
Yeah. Here's the scary part of our culture right now, Kim. I hate to be a little Debbie Downer, but I'm going to be, is I love when I go to restaurants. He was the manager, so I couldn't do it. But when I get a great waitress or waiter, I'll ask him to come over. I say, hey, John, come over. Can I talk to you for a second? Sure. Can I talk to your manager? That's all I say. And they'll go, hey, can I help you? I go, can I just talk to your manager? Exactly. Because that's our culture right away. That was their thought. And they were incredible. There was no reason to think that. But that's kind of how they feel. That's the one problem in our culture. Two, the manager will come over. I've done this hundreds of times. And it's crazy the response I get. I'll go, Jim, Tony, fabulous waiter. Talk to my wife. Her water was full all the time. I'm going to take them away from you if I had a restaurant. I tease like that. They laugh because they come in like this, really stiff, and they open right up. And here's the valuable question I've learned that's the problem with our culture. I'll go, how long have you been here? He says, this guy was here 5 years. I said, how often do you hear good things about your waiters, your staff, excuse me? He goes, one time in 5 years. One time, full time, 40 hours a week, he's heard good things. But he's heard 100, too cold, food was late, I had to wait an hour for my table. And I'm not saying not to complain. There's a way to do that. But let's not forget, as customers, clients, patients, thank the people doing good things for us. That's transformational.
That's huge. That's such a good reminder. I was just thinking the other day, we were talking about somebody, we thought, oh, he was such a nice guy, such a good waiter. We should have been saying something to his manager, because you're right. They don't get enough appreciation. And every little bit helps. The location, the people that work there, and it makes them better too.
Oh yeah.
Now, I have to ask you about the 100 million in partner deals that you've helped generate through the years.
Yes.
What makes a connection truly valuable rather than just another connection in someone's network so that you can start doing this kind of thing?
This is going to be an odd answer, I think people, and you'll think, but it's just do it. Just make the introduction. Because Kim, I get all the time, aren't you afraid that it won't work or the outcome might not be good? I said, to be honest, I mean this with all love. I don't care because it's an introduction. Now I'm really good at it. I've got a lot of emails. Oh my God, I can't believe I got one yesterday. You connected us. That's actually this morning, a podcast guest. He goes, you connecting me with this guy? We were on the phone for an hour.
Wow.
We just connected and now we text every week. Well, if I didn't do that, that wouldn't happen. Did Steve make any money on that? Absolutely not. Did Steve get universe or God, I call him currency? Amen. Yes.
Yeah.
Universe is loving that. We have to have faith and hope in that.
Yeah.
So the first thing is do the introduction and just do that. I did 1,800 introductions last year. Powerful.
1,800. I'm feeling so behind.
No, don't do. I'm a weirdo.
I'm teasing.
People listening probably that know me. Oh, yeah, he's a weirdo, but we like him. And I do video introductions. Now, not many people do that. So here's another tip. If you want to be, so it's called the Apple method. Apple method really quick means, I learned this from a great guest, and sorry, I forget his name, but he'll know who he is. He said Apple came out with that first phone with Jobs and all that, but there was Motorola. There was a couple other companies, right?
Sure.
What did Apple do? They took the same phone they had and just made it better, right? And now people, billions of dollars they make. Well, that's what I think when I think of how I do things. And that's my introductions. I used to do email introductions. I do a template, different things. And then 2 years ago, I'm like, why don't I try some video? I think somebody had sent me one. I think that's what happened. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So now I jump on, I use a product called Dub, you use whatever, Loom, whatever. And I just, 30 seconds. Hey, Kim, meet Debbie. Debbie's going to be a great guest on your podcast. Debbie, you're going to love Kim. I was on her show. She's a wonderful host. Enjoy the connection. And I hang up. How powerful is that than one typing it out?
So let me just be clear. So you jump on, do a little video just by yourself, and then send it to both of them.
Yep.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
And every other email I get, that is so cool. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because it shows you took the time, that you thought it was important enough to take the time. I love that. I might have to steal that one, Steve.
But borrow away. An audience, reach out. We'll get my contact info. You can tell them a podcast host I'm talking about that. It's powerful because people remember me. And words typed are okay, but why is video taken off on social media? TikTok, shorts on YouTube, because you can see body language. You can see.
I was just going to say, it's a visual thing. And yes. I remember people if I can see their face. Sometimes if I just get names and stuff, it's harder for me to remember. But as soon as you see a face, it's so much easier. Yeah. Oh, that's so smart.
Well, now, Kim, I tell you what, you start doing that and reach out to me. Your first 5 you do, let me know with the response. I know it's going to be great.
I am going to tell you, and I will jump on your group and I'll share it with them to tell you what happens, because I'm excited about that. Because I want to talk about building community, and you talk about growing your inner circle. So building an inner circle that grows your income and opportunities. So what should entrepreneurs look for when creating the kind of community or circle around them?
Like-minded people that you have a connection with. Pretty simple, but keep that in mind, because I had to parse out a lot of people in my network that I was enabling by serving, and they wouldn't take action on the tips. And no judgment here, but I'm not going to spend an hour with you once a month if for 5 months I've given you some call to actions and you never do them.
Yeah.
And then you come to me, my business isn't growing. Nothing's happening. Now, I know coaches that if you're paying for them and don't do it, that's not the coach's fault. The coach is just guiding you. You got to take the action. But community is the utmost, most important. Tribe, group, mastermind. There's names for it, but it's a group of people. Napoleon Hill said it perfectly in Think and Grow Rich. You need a mastermind. I saw Tony Robbins' video, who was with Alex Hormozy. Tony has 4 billionaires that he has his community.
Yeah.
And they go to each other, and they just fed 23 billion people.
That's amazing.
Amazing. They had done 23, whatever the amazing numbers.
Yeah.
We can do the same thing. Here's what I talk about community. I have 3 levels. You're the person in the middle. You're going to go community, commune, meet, talk to people much more successful than you. I've had 5 billionaires on my show. 2 of them are still friends. I can go to anytime.
Wow.
But what I do with all those very successful people that I meet, I have a community that I share it with.
And that goes right into the next question I wanted to talk to you about, because I know you do talk about mentoring. What did I hear you say? You say you mentor below your income level and learn from people above it.
Yes.
And
here's what I learned. Networking groups are, I mean, there's nothing wrong. I ran 5 of them for 8 years. And I did that to grow my business, but I plateaued and I wanted to do more because I wanted more impact. So I needed more of an income.
Right.
So for me and people interested, the podcast was my next level. I walked away from those networking groups that were all the same level as me. Then I started meeting Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI. Millions and millions of dollars they make a year. Lee Steinberg, Jerry Maguire movie. He's had billions of dollars in contracts.
Yeah.
I've met these guys. I've learned from them. And they give me information. Bob Berg, he's been on a lot of podcasts.
He's great.
Wonderful. He was just on my podcast for the 2nd time. I went to him and said, would you like to come back and let's do part 2? He had no problem.
Wow.
But think about this, Kim and audience. Would Bob, Lee, or Ivan meet with Steve Ramona if I didn't have a podcast? Absolutely not. What could I give them? Why would they? Because I'm sure other people want to meet. This is why I love podcasting. It gives those people a platform for their message.
Right.
So they're willing to meet. And then guess what? I get to ask the principal them. I get to learn about them. I get to help them. Yeah. Maybe it's an introduction or, hey, I've got a question. I need help here. And I'll give you a great story. I was diabetic last May. I scared the hell out of me. I'm 63 years old. And I had Eric Collette. Shout out to Eric. He's become a friend of mine. He runs a Mind for All Seasons for dementia, healthcare, Alzheimer's. And we got done. I just met him. We did a great show. We really connected. This is why I love podcasting. And I said, here's my problem. I got a situation, I got diabetes. I said, I got this book about fasting. He went over for 20 minutes about what I could do. Here's what you do. In 4.5 months, I was off all my medicine and I lost 45 pounds.
Wow.
Doctor says it takes 2 years to come off diabetes medicines. And I just got checked yesterday. It's still low. And this was May of last year. So almost a year later, still because of what I learned from Eric. We can say literally Eric saved my life.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm getting chills right now because that's powerful. I mean, it doesn't always have to be money. How much is that worth, Steve Ramona, getting off diabetes? Billions of dollars?
That's pretty big, yeah.
Or money on medicine or whatever. However you want to look at that. So that's some of the ways that you can really grow yourself. And people that are very successful, they want a mentor. Just got to approach them the right way.
Right. And it's really funny that you say that, because the whole reason that I started my podcast, it was actually, I used to do it as Facebook Lives, and it was my way to give back to all the entrepreneurs that maybe they're just starting out and they haven't, quite, found their groove, and they want to be able to get out there. I wanted to bring them on to a comfortable place that they could start talking about themselves. And that was by asking them questions. And that's how this whole thing began.
It's a beautiful story. Beautiful story.
Now you've hosted over 900 episodes.
I just did 900 and I'm looking 928.
Wow. And so how else has podcasting helped you with opportunities? You've talked about how it's introduced you to people, but let's just like, what if somebody's thinking about, should I do a podcast? Let's talk about that.
You want the secret sauce?
I do.
Give it away for free.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I've shared this with a lot of people. And I've mentioned some of the stuff, my health, but we forget as podcast hosts, and Kim, you'll nod your head up and down. We learn so much as hosts.
Yeah.
The quotes, some books I've got, John Mitchell, shout out to him. He took Think and Grow Rich and found the secret sauce. Since May, of course, the same time I had my diabetes diagnosis, I've been reading his book as an affirmation I read every day for the last 11 and a half months. Income's changed dramatically. I didn't have a podcast, I wouldn't have met him.
Right.
But discovery calls are great. We ask the questions, we get to know, see how we can help each other. But on a podcast, the discovery calls, it's all about the host, guest.
Yeah.
I get to ask them questions. I get to learn about them, their passions, their desires, their whys, what their challenges are. What were they doing before? What's their story? And here's the secret sauce. You just do your ASLA principle when you're a podcast host. Before I always set it up with energy. Man, Kim, thanks for coming, all that. And I can walk you through it. We could talk later. But when the show's ended, I'm always, Kim, what a fantastic show. You said this, this, and this. I've got it written down here. What did I just do again? Edify, edify, edify. Huge. And what does that do? It opens the opportunity or like a flying slider. It just slides right open because they're going to ask you. Most of the time I get asked, Steve, how can I support you? How can I help you? Billionaires are asking me, you're so great. How can I support you?
Yeah.
I'm looking for $100 million for my project. Yeah, let me see if I can, and they connect me with a few people. Holy moly. If I was struggling going through my network to try to find people with that kind of money or people connected to that kind of money. Now in my network, because of the podcast and the ASLA principle and serving people, I can now do that.
Yeah. That's amazing. These are great, great tips. And I can see just using even a couple of these are going to be so valuable for myself. And I know for people that are listening as well. Now, I'd like to talk just a little bit about personal development and leadership. You talk about improving 1% every day. I've read that. Now, how has that philosophy shaped your personal growth and your business growth?
Personally, it's changed me tremendously. I'll be very transparent and open with all of you. I was the most judgmental guy in the world. I was a pitch slapper. I remember Donnie Bovin, who's got a big community on LinkedIn, thousands of people. He came on to meet me, and I pitched him on this digital business card right away. And he stopped me. I'm not buying. He says, you don't know anything about me. Why are you selling me right now? Very lovingly. He did it with the kindness in the world. Never forget Donnie. He came on my podcast, and we discussed that. And I was thinking, what an a-hole. Wait a minute. He's right. I don't know anything about him. I don't even know if he needs this.
Yeah.
And what did I blow? I blew the opportunity for him to refer other people to me because he didn't. And I didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
So I get to learn.
I've been there. I've been in that spot exactly. It's just because you don't know.
Well, we think, Donnie says, well, here's part of the problem. And I think you're the same way. I don't want to speak for you. We get so excited about what we do, our product or service, that we just vomit over everybody.
Yeah.
And passion's only good when you know what the other people need.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful, powerful tool. So podcasting has changed me in that way. I've learned to listen more. If I knew ASLA principle at 18, I'd have been a billionaire, literally, because of my network. And you don't look back and, worry about that. And I don't.
No, because it's a learning thing too. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
That's being 64. And I get to share it with some 30-year-olds who I met last week, and they're on fire. They're like doing ASLA everywhere. And they're like, this is brilliant. Thank you. Well, that's what we should be doing as humans, uplifting everybody that we can. You're not going to uplift everybody. There's times I can't do an introduction. I don't know. I know what I do is very nichey for an introduction, and people go, Steve, I can't really help you. Like, that's okay. It's okay. Let's stay connected. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And here's another story. Tony, I met 3.5, 4 years ago, and I was in a call with him, getting to know him, and I just could tell he was doing really well. Something, the vibe. And I said, I don't usually ask this. I said, what kind of revenue you guys do a year? He goes, we're doing about 250 million a year. I went, okay, Tony, what's the secret sauce? And this is another change in my life. It was right before podcasting, so I was blessed because of the timing. He said, because he heard my story about serving, and because you do so many introductions. I said, I wake up in the morning, I serve. I go to bed, I serve. I serve my employees, my clients, my competitors, people I don't know. I'm always thinking of ways to serve. He said, he was just telling me, I just sent a client to somebody we couldn't help. And that's my competitor. They're a little smaller than us. It wasn't a big enough job for us. That's changing my world. Every day I do that. So I told him a story where I would do introductions. Yeah. Like, use you, Kim, go, Kim. And I think I did that. I think I gave you some introductions. And you naturally come, well, how can I help you, Steve? Or how can I support you? Whatever that is, right? And I would literally do this. Kim, and my hands up if you're just listening to this. I am good. First, don't ever do that, audience, because that's the stop sign. That's telling people cut me off. And I stop and sit that down and do it unless I'm doing the example. But the other thing, this is what was incredibly, I was misunderstanding. And you will as well. He said, Steve, when somebody you give gifts to and they ask to support you, to give you gifts back, because I think all this stuff is gifts, you turn them into takers. I went, Tony, wait a minute. I gave them all that. I served them. But they want to help you. You cut that off. It's not conscious. They don't walk away go, Steve's an idiot. I'll never work with that. That's not what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's only 5% of your life.
Right.
It's the 95% of your subconscious. So when they walk away, they forget about you because you didn't allow them to support you. And the next week I started growing every week after that.
That's really powerful.
It really is. And I'll never forget that guy. Wish I could remember. I got to search and give him another thank you because I talk about him all the time.
That's a great one. I love that. Oh, you have given us some huge value bombs here. And I'm so appreciative. I'm trying to make sure that I have them. Well, thank goodness I have this recorded so that I can go back. But I also want to make sure that people know how they can become part of your world. And because I have also become part of your world because you've given so much as you do. And I joined your community, which is free, everybody, I just have to say. And I want to tell people about it. So share with everybody what your community is and what it's for.
It's called the Business Network. And I know, Kim, you're going to put it up on a QR code in the link. I've been mentoring people for so long, and I'd get a month later, what was that you talked about YouTube, or what was that? Because they forget, and because they get busy and people don't write stuff down. I'm like, I've got to find a place where all that sits, that people can go back to it and find some resources or have a direct contact with me. I look at it every day. Audience, think of it as my own Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't have Meta or Instagram or LinkedIn controlling them. I'm in complete control.
Yeah.
And how I give back is, I think you saw this, the most engaged person, I spin a wheel, which I'm going to start doing. And I gave $100 out last month.
But today you give more than just gifts. You give a lot of information. Yes. You have a place for people to connect. You let the people connect with each other.
Right. There's a networking aspect. Mm-hmm. You could DM each other. You can jump on calls together. I'll start doing questions and answers. I'll start bringing these experts on to teach you for free. Remember when I was telling you, meet a very people more successful than you. I'm going to bring those people so you can actually do that like I've been doing. And if I don't have an answer, I have a network I can get an answer for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You have so many people that you're connected with. And and as I said before, I haven't been on there as much as I have wanted to. But the times that I have been on, there have been some really great people and, authentic people, which is why I want to make sure that we had an opportunity to share. So I would say definitely jump on to Steve's group. And it's the Business Expert. It's a free business community. So it's for entrepreneurs. You can use a QR code up here in the corner. Am I pointing to the right direction?
Yep, there you are.
Just click on that, and it's in the school platform. So it's easy to use. You're probably already in there as a member of something. I know there's some great communities, but you've got to check out Steve's. And he does free lessons, and he's got some great resources. I was going through some of your resources. You have some great stuff there. But Steve's somebody that you need to connect with, because if you're trying to grow your business, he's got some great examples of how you can do it and make it easy. It doesn't have to be hard. So thank you so much, Steve, for joining us and sharing your wealth of information and how you've built your business in service. I love that. And you're so true and genuine about it that it feels good to share you with everybody. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave people with, a last statement to share with entrepreneurs to inspire or motivate them?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for having me on. You're just a great host. Audience, subscribe to her YouTube channel. Connect with her. Because if she's having me on, there's even more successful people than she's having. And there's no scoreboard here, how successful. But podcast or any video that you're watching that's really educating you, personal development, a book, whatever it is, whatever that looks like to you. I watch a 5-minute video every morning from Darren Hardy, who's the most successful guys in the world. And it's free. Every 5, wake up in the morning, and even me being as successful as I am, I'm still willing to learn. Even an old guy at 64, I've learned more in the last 5 years than I have in 35 years. And I'm proud to say that. So jump on, watch your podcast, and learn.
Well, thank you for saying that, Steve. And thank you for sharing all your wisdom. Make sure that you check out Steve's school platform, the Business Expert group. Is that correct? I usually just go there.
The Business Network.
The Business Network. Use a QR code. Click there now so that you've got it on your phone and you can go join. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we'll see you next time in The Scene Live. Bye for now.